These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
The OG Score North podcast here, Mackey and Judd. This is going to act as a bit of a post-game show today for what we just did on the Thursday Purple Daily episode that you can find in all your Purple Daily feeds. A theme emerged among the majority of the show about the Vikings and the Lions and the way that everyone feels about those teams and even the Packers. So we'll dive into that. And boy, the Red Zone channel pissed a lot of people off yesterday, including, I think, Judd. So we'll get to some themes from the week in that regard. Federated Insurance, one of our great partners here. We appreciate them helping to keep these daily shows going across the Score North network. And it's like having a great offensive line for your business. Federated's been around for over 100 years, specializing in working with small and medium-sized businesses, the backbone of America, if you will. And they help you protect your reputation, your workplace, your employees, and your financial assets with a customized lineup of insurance. They'll customize it and tailor it to your business. Find out more about how they can help your company and the history of this company at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. And also, Deck, so a little over a week ago at Annunciation Catholic School, a terrible tragedy happened, and families are trying to piece things back together. The school is trying to figure out how to go forward. It affected your family, which you've talked about, and we're trying to raise some money here and awareness for the cause at Annunciation.
Yeah, so at Annunciation right now, they're looking for a few things. Obviously, it's just support and awareness and love for a community that had a horrible thing happen to them. And you have children there who are traumatized, parents, faculty, the school needs repairs. There's a long road to recovery there, on and in and out the school. So whatever you have to donate, we've already raised over $3,000. So thank you to everyone who has donated. We're going to be talking about this for basically the next 5-6 days. So whatever you have, $5, $100, whatever you want to do to support the community at Annunciation Catholic School, we greatly appreciate it. All you have to do, scorenorth.com/donate. Again, whatever you feel obliged to give to help out the community, scorenorth.com/donate.
So just to sum this up, and check out the whole episode, because we picked with Thor on Thursday Purple Daily. We picked the entire league, basically, 14 playoff teams across two conferences. And you three, so you guys and Thor, not only had the Lions not winning the NFC North, all three of you had the Lions out of the playoffs entirely. All four of us, so I had the Lions still winning the division. So I'm bracing for some regression there, but I don't know if it's coming yet in 2025 the way that people think. And all four of us had the Vikings either winning the division or making the playoffs. Thor had the Vikings getting to the Super Bowl and losing. So my question to you guys is, are we jumping the shark here? If we could reflect on ourselves a little bit here. Is this an exercise in wishful thinking that the Lions they're cooked? They've hit the cliff and they're done. And it's the Vikings' time to rise up. Judd had the Packers winning the division, so you got them in the conversation. Do we need to reflect on this a little bit before we just cast the Lions aside and put the Vikings in their place?
So a year ago, I think I cast the Lions aside at the time, and then they won the division and went to the playoffs, where they were summarily dismissed by the Commanders at home. But here's what I'm banking on. In this division, I think two teams instead of three this time go to the playoffs. I think the division is so tough that somebody's going to fall off in part because of that. And we've been talking about since it came out that the Lions, like most of the teams in this division, have an incredibly difficult schedule. Both their coordinators are gone. As Doogie continues to hammer home, and he's not wrong, Frank Regnow, who was their center, who's a local kid from here, was an incredibly important part. He's gone. Kevin Zeitler gone to the Titans. That offensive line, I think there's no question about it, unless the replacements are better than we think, is going to take a step backwards. And the Lions are built on the premise of we're going to kick your ass football, smash mouth football. And up front on both lines, they've been good. Now, they had a bunch of injuries last season. A lot of those guys are coming back. But I also wonder in some ways if the way that they approach the game leads to injuries as well. So I'm picking on Detroit, but I'm picking on Detroit in part because I think the division has at least one team that tails off. And I'm going to go with Detroit. That's what I'm banking on. Might be wrong, but I don't think we're going to see three teams from a division this good in the playoffs again, in part because the division is so good. And it's tough. Like the Vikings are tougher now. Everyone, and I'm not saying tougher as in harder to beat. I'm saying tougher as these are going to be kick-ass games. The Vikings are stronger up front. I think that Detroit wants to be. I think Green Bay improved as well. So that's sort of why I'm picking on Detroit, although I would not be shocked if I end up being wrong.
So my logic here too is, and some of it I've detailed in the last few months, but their road schedule is brutal. They are playing at Green Bay to start the year, at Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, at Cincinnati and the Burrow and Joe Burrow and the Bengals, at Kansas City and the Chiefs.
In the Burrow should be what they call
In
that
the Burrow.
stadium. You actually just stumbled into
That's a
it.
great name.
You're welcome,
I sort of
Cincinnati.
like that. That's college-esque.
At Washington against Daniels, at Philadelphia against Jalen Hurts. The Rams might, I don't know about Stafford, but still on the road at Rams, and their last two games of the year on the road in the NFC North. So I think their path is just so much more difficult. The other, on top of losing both coordinators too, but also there's always turnover in the NFC. And now to answer Phil's question, am I jumping the shark, putting the Vikings ahead of that? That's why I did put the Cardinals in this discussion, the 49ers back into this discussion, because it's very rare in this league to see basically all playoff teams repeat as playoff teams year in and year out. So there's always turnover. So that's kind of where I pick the Lions as the out, and putting in a team like the Cardinals, putting in a team like the Niners, and then maybe mistakenly, but believing that the Vikings are just going to have a better year too than the Lions.
Yeah, the schedule thing is pretty crazy. They do get smacked, the Lions, upside the head with the schedule. But the Vikings and the Packers play very similar schedules to the Lions too, because they all play in the same division. And so I guess I am absorbing schedule, some offensive line attrition. They still have Penei Sewell, who's one of the best. He might be the best I think he won Offensive Lineman of the Year last year. The right tackle.
Fun player.
Is it Decker, their left tackle? Like, they still have some dudes up front there. Sam Laporta is becoming one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the league. So it's not like they lost everything. The coordinators, some offensive linemen, and the schedule definitely are blows to absorb. But they won 15 games last year. So even if I don't think they're a 14 or 15 win team anymore, but to get into the NFC playoffs, it's probably 10 wins. So could they regress due to all those factors, schedule, offensive line, down to like 11 wins? Maybe 11 doesn't get you the division. It might, though, with these teams beating up on each other. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with the Lions is, yeah, there's definitely some things to be aware of, but I don't know that it vaults them out of the playoffs. On the Vikings side, Judd's been all over this, and I think your instinct is probably correct, even though I put three teams from that division in the playoffs. With how much those teams in the NFC North are going to battle each other, and with how hard their schedule is outside the division, playing Ravens and Eagles and some of these other teams, is there a path for three teams in the NFC North to get in? And if someone told you right now only two NFC North teams are going to get in, how confident are you that the Vikings make that cut? Like, I think the Vikings could be a really good team. I think there's a world where they are a really good team that loses a few more one-score games and falls victim to their post-bye 8-game stretch, which is brutal on paper. Mm-hmm. And they come up. I do think they could come up short of the playoffs. Absolutely.
Packers too. Like the only team that I wanna see it from, and the only team that I'm like, I just don't know, the Bears. Like, I think the Lions, the Vikings, and Packers are all good. If you were to tell me any one of those three was going to miss the playoffs, I would not be shocked. If the Bears jump over the Vikings or Packers, I would be mildly surprised just because I don't know there. Yeah. But yeah, my instinct is that two teams from this division are going to get in, and a team from a lesser division that might not be as good as the one that misses from this division is going to get in because it has an easier schedule.
On the Bears, real quick, one more note on that. All right, so they got the 17 games. I don't think they play internationally, so it's all home and away.
Okay.
But this is one of those years where, because there's 17 games, every other year you play more home games or more road games. So the Bears, and I think this is the case with all the teams in the division, even though the Vikings replace a couple road games with neutral sites, so they get the advantage there. The Bears have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 home games and 9 road games. Here's who the Bears play on the road: Detroit, Pete Carroll's Raiders, that's a tough one. I think right now that might be a coin flip game in the sports books. At the Commanders, at Baltimore, at the Borough, Cincinnati, at Vikings, at Eagles, at Packers, at 49ers.
Yeah.
So that's 9 road games, right? We have 9. If they could go 4-5, that would be a huge win on the road for that road schedule, right? So that's 4-5, best case scenario.
Yep.
Where are they getting 5 other wins at home then? Okay, so they'd have to go 5-3 at home, hosting Vikings, Cowboys, Saints. There's some potential wins in here. Giants, Steelers, Cleveland, Green Bay, Detroit.
That's pretty favorable.
So you'd have to win. You could lose the 3 division games and then win the other 5 games against Dallas, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and the Giants, and that is your mathematical path to 9 wins. But you're also probably starting 0-2 Vikings and Detroit. So I would be shocked if the Bears it would be shocking to me if the Bears made the playoffs.
I think the Bears are the only team in the division, though, that could privately sit down after the season and not have made the playoffs and privately be satisfied. Like, okay, we took a nice step, right?
Wouldn't fans be kind of like,
Well,
it would have to look a certain way?
Sure.
Yeah.
You'd have to beat the Lions in Detroit for a game or
But
something.
if they won 9 games and missed the playoffs, I think it's a step. Like, I guess my point is this: Packers, Vikings, and Lions, nothing short of the playoffs is going to satisfy your fan base, and more importantly, you as a team.
Yeah, is there, maybe we can ask this on a Purple Daily episode this week, but is there a non-playoff scenario that you would still be like happy with if you're the Vikings?
I don't think so. You're built to go.
I'm going to ask that tonight at the Unplugged.
You're built to go. I mean, the more I think about this, and like, look, could the Vikings, as you said before, miss the playoffs? Absolutely, okay? But I think the expectation internally, and thus for the fan base, and make no mistake, not nationally at all, I think the expectation is playoffs and a playoff win at the very least.
Do you guys also see, by the way, what Jamie Erdahl picked on NFL Network today?
Vikings Broncos, right?
Vikings Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Who did she have winning?
I think Vikings.
Wow, Jamie.
Pretty sure it's Vikings.
Birds, let's go. Minnesota's own.
She's great.
Former Royce and Mackey intern Jamie Erdahl back in the day.
On the air constantly, did great work with you. Oh, forget it.
Oh my God, we had so many talented people like her that like. Why are we not finding a way to keep these talented people? But that's a story about
I was going to say
ESPN back in the day.
Now we're getting hung up on things that
we're just going to let Pelissero walk out the door. Okay, let's talk about the Red Zone thing that has people. So Red Zone Channel started sneaking commercials in last year.
Yes.
And now Scott Hansen has confirmed that there will be commercials inside Red Zone programming. Speaking of commercials, we appreciate you guys supporting our sponsors. It keeps these shows rocking hours a day. MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning being one of them, Judd.
Most definitely. And you know what? Football is here, which is awesome. But check the temperature on your phone, because guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, starting to get chilly. Not going to lie. Starting to get chilly. Now, winter is a ways away, but you want to be prepared for when it does start. When fall turns cold, and it's turned cold right now, for your furnace to be working efficiently, right? Well, guess what? MSP Plumbing, Heating and Air is going to help you get ahead of the game. Get a tune-up now. Have them out now. Do not wait until it's cold out and it's not working, and then you are freezing. That's no fun. Make sure that they are at your house and getting that furnace tuned up ASAP. 651-615-4292. Call MSP.com. Call MSP.com to get ahead of the game.
Get your pizza oven tuned up for football season too.
Yeah.
There's nothing like firing up a football game on a Thursday night with a Green Mill pizza in your arms, or maybe not in your arms, just like
I got you.
on a table nearby.
You're just cradling it like a baby because it's so good.
That's right. Rock that pizza to sleep, or eat it before it gets cold, or eat it when it's cold. I've done that before with leftover Green Mill pizza, which you can find in the freezer section of a grocery store near you. Also, soft breadsticks and sauces by Green Mill, that iconic Green Mill restaurant brand, in your freezer. Find out more at greenmillfoods.com.
We have commercials now. What happened?
Well, there's the full version here. I played the initial chimes, but yeah, is this what they're going to segue to commercial break with
We
now?
have commercials now.
We have commercials now.
Here comes a commercial.
Talk
in
about
the
Home Depot
games.
now.
So,
All right, so yeah, they're going to start
yeah.
putting more commercials in NFL Red Zone channel. People are pissed. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, when they started to do it last year, and I think it was week 15, and if you guys recall, the big controversy was Scott Hansen started week 15 and now 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Oh,
and
he said it at the beginning of of that day?
He did,
He
and then
lied?
and then 3 hours in, they split the old screen, and we get commercials, and fans are like, "Hold on a second, this is not 7 hours of commercial-free football." And so yesterday, Scott Hansen goes on Pat McAfee's show, and remember the NFL Network and ESPN are going into business together, which means essentially the Red Zone is going into business at some point. It's not a done deal yet with ESPN. And Scott Hansen, you could tell he's on there deliberately, like they're doing something. And he says, and McAfee says, and I'm sure that this was worked out. He's like, okay, Sunday, you come on the air. What are your first words? And Hansen hems and haws, and it's not exciting. And he says, 7 hours. What I'm going to say is 7 hours of Red Zone football.
Yeah.
And there's
not commercial free.
And McAfee's like, yes. And Hansen's like, again, because he's the messenger, right? Yeah. And Hansen's like, yeah, because we're going to have more commercials this year. And so what's unclear now, because the league released a statement later in the day, Hansen made it sound like they're going to do commercial breaks at some point. The NFL
or they don't do split screen, they just go away.
Correct.
To commercial breaks.
Correct. Hansen made it sound like that. The NFL released a statement that insinuates that they're going to split the screen still, and that and the commercial will be on the split screen with the sound, but you'll still be watching football.
Yeah.
It's very murky. But the fact is, and look, I get it. We do commercials because the NFL makes billions. We don't. But anyway, commercials.
Not yet anyways. We're getting there in Purple Daily. No.
Well, and perhaps if we had kept some of those great 1,500 ESPN people, we would be
someday
making billions right now. But anyway, I'm not surprised. When they started doing it last year, that was the beginning. But still, it ends a magical time. It's like graduating from high school if you loved it. A lot of people
loved it.
If you loved it. A lot of people love their high school experience. But you walk out.
Are you debating how much people love their high school experience, Dex, or what are you?
Yeah, to me, I mean, I'll just make a huge assumption by Judd here. To me, that if high school was the greatest years of your life, I'm sorry.
Oh, not your greatest years, but they're magical. They end up being, for a lot of people, they end up being magical. You walk out that door and you are in the world. And the world.
Yeah. Just like there's a difference between saying, I really enjoyed high school, and saying high school was the best 4 years of my life.
Right. No,
I really enjoyed commercial-free
football.
It's a right full circle. I really enjoyed commercial-free Red Zone. But these people that are like, oh my God, how could you? What do you mean? I pay a subscription. You guys, people paid are still paying. What's your cable bill right now, Judd? $300 a month?
$320 a month.
So you're paying for years and years. People
have
been
paying.
Childcare. You're paying $200 or $300 a month. I think childcare is a little more than $300 a month.
That's a weekly rate, but that's okay.
Yeah, you want the breakdown? Dex will have it. But you pay $200 or $300 a month for access to cable channels that then for years and years and years show you 12 to 20 minutes an hour of commercials.
Right.
You ever sit down to watch John Taffer's Bar Rescue, which I love that show? Shut it down. Shut it down. That's disrespectful. That show literally has 7-minute commercial breaks. Okay, and I'm not condoning that.
Yeah.
But people acting like it is an affront to put. If you could go back in time 15 years and say the NFL is going to give you 15 years worth, 7 hours every Sunday,
Right.
and they're going to show you like every peak moment of every game live as it happens.
Right.
And before you said anything else, you'd say, and this isn't what happened because they went commercial free for 15 years. And over those 7 hours, like once an hour, there's going to be a few minutes of commercials. Would you be in or out? You'd be like, oh my God, I would. That's all? They're only. So if they're going to sprinkle some commercials in, people need to take a deep breath. Okay.
But we've opened Pandora's box now because they're going to sprinkle more and more in. And it was a magical time in television. It's one of the greatest sports television. I was trying to think of this. One of the greatest inventions in the history of sports on TV. Instant replay 1963 is probably one. But the red zone itself and the concept is in the top 5. Like, it's one of the greatest inventions. Yeah. And the fact that they didn't have commercials. Now, here's what I think is the long game. So the NFL is going to continue to produce this channel and be in charge of it. But ESPN eventually is going to be involved. So what I think is the long game is this. I think we're a few years away from what they're going to do is they're going to launch a red zone channel, or they're going to leave the red zone channel as we know it now with commercials. More commercial breaks than now. And then they're going to launch a higher subscription tier one with no commercials. So they can double dip. That's my guess. And look, I'm just here to say it's a sad day because I am leaving high school, a magical time in my life. I am walking out the door of parties on Friday nights, of football games, of mischief, underage drinking, and now I'm in the real world.
But here's the thing. You're still going to go to those high school parties that you're talking about.
But they're not the same.
But they're not that much different. This is my contention. People
I'm
are
the
saying,
old guy at a high school party. I'm the old guy at a high school party. I'm the creepy guy now, and I was in high school before.
No, you've been old creepy guy for a long time and everything. No, but I was debating with someone on Twitter yesterday who said the commercial free is the selling point. It is the reason why you watch Red Zone channel.
Was for some, yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
For some it was.
The football, getting access to every peak moment of football is the reason why you watch Red Zone channel. Don't derail it with commercials, but let's not get it twisted.
Right, but they will eventually, probably now.
Here's my hot take with Red Zone. I really don't give a bleep about Red Zone. I don't watch it because number one, let's break this down.
Yeah.
How much time in the last 5 years of us doing Purple Daily have the three of us been able to sit down and really enjoy the noon to 3 p.m. era of Red Zone, which is the witching hour at 2:45. About 75% of our Vikings games are happening at noon. Yeah. By the time we're done with the vent line, it's now 4:45, 5 o'clock, and there's only just 2 or 3 games going on. And don't get me wrong, there might be some crazy things happening in those 2 or 3 games, but we don't really get the full experience of enjoying Red Zone to what it should be.
But I always have a second screen of Red Zone so I can see what's happening. Also, we are like a very small section of
for sure. I'm
explaining
you want to make
a point of people who have lives on Sundays. Sure.
I'm not blaming anyone who loves Red Zone. I'm saying personally, I don't have time to enjoy or watch Red Zone because I would rather just focus all my attention on the Vikings game.
Oh yeah.
And so Red Zone this is a me thing. I'm not. Yeah, if people like Red Zone, I'm cool with that.
Sunday is a magical day.
I'm telling you guys that like us three don't really get the full Red Zone experience like other people would have when they watch Red Zone.
But that's what makes.
But what is the point? But what is your point though?
That like I don't care that there's commercials. I don't care that there's not commercials. Like Red Zone, that does not affect my life. It doesn't affect my football enjoying livelihood.
That's great, but a lot of people do watch.
For sure,
that's why it's a big deal.
I'm not Phil. I'm not crapping on other people that enjoy Red Zone. I'm giving you my take on why like Red Zone to me is irrelevant. Just to me, it's irrelevant to me.
But this is what makes it so special: is that we only get X amount of occasions. Like Sunday is a perfect example. Like the three of us can sit there and watch Red Zone all day because the Vikings play on Monday. Like, I think it's more special.
This year we get a lot.
I hold it near and dear to my existence that the days that I get to watch it, it's magical. It's special. But I have been told that, and I get this one, anyone with attention deficit disorder hates it because they can't keep, like it's too much. And I totally get that. But I mean, I think it's the days I get it, you guys, the Monday night games for the Vikings or the Sunday night games, especially if they're on the road. I mean, that's what sort of it makes it special.
And like I also think like the core of the debate that's happening on the internet right now is about where is the line for you are paying money for a service, an entertainment service. Should there then be commercials within that service? So if you're watching free TV, ABC television, and you're not paying a subscription for that or whatever,
Sure.
all right, we all agree that they got to make money somehow, and so they're going to put 15 minutes of commercials in an hour of programming. But it's the new phenomenon of Peacock, and so you pay $15 a month for Peacock, or you pay whatever it is for Netflix. And you watch a live show, you watch Monday Night Raw on Netflix or something, and they run commercials too. Well, wait a second, I'm paying for it, and they're running commercials. And there is a debate here about just how far can these entertainment companies push the envelope to get you to pay for a service to also run commercials in the paid subscription service. And of course, my counter to that is we all paid for cable $200, $300 a month for years and years and years, and it's really not that much different than having 15 minutes of commercials in a paid cable platform TV show.
So in 2 years, if the National Football League and ESPN come up with the Red Zone commercial free, and they charge you, what's the price now? $11 a month just to have
for
Red Zone. For like the Red Zone that's going to have commercials.
NFL Plus is the
right?
platform.
Okay. Yeah, what's the price?
I think it's like 6 or 7, isn't it?
There's like
cheaper?
a couple different.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's like under 50, like 10, $15 a month or something.
Okay, so if the price goes up to $25 per month, but I also get a service that shows me the Red Zone with no commercials, am I going to protest and not get that? Hell no.
But you know what's funny about this? This is America built on capitalism for 250 whatever years. If they said, you know what, screw you. We think our service, which you just said is one of the most revolutionary sports TV services in the history of this country.
No
and we recognize that, and we recognize that football is America's sport.
Yep.
We are going to charge $25 a month for it, and we're going to run 5 to 10 minutes of commercials every hour, screen side by side. You can complain all you want, just like you can complain when you go to the restaurant and a glass of wine is $15. Like, this is... Dude, price gouging in America is part of the fabric, and not just in 2025, but going back a long time.
And the National Football League's at the forefront because anything that they do will sell.
Yeah. So I guess my final point here is I think we do need to keep a watchful eye here. All right, I get it. It's a super valuable platform, and there was no commercials on it for a long time, which I think it's reasonable for them to put some things in. But if it winds up being super obnoxious and we're cutting away completely 3 times an hour, you want to do like one break an hour, 7 hours, I'm fine with that. Whatever. Like, it's a super valuable platform.
Sure.
But I do agree generally that we should keep an eye on this, paying for a platform and then also gouging with commercials on top.
My final point is this. 14 years of magic has walked out the door. Absolute magic. Scotty Hansen. Hansen.
It's still
can go
there.
to the
It just
bathroom
has a
now.
sponsored hat on. That's all that's happening, Judd.
Scotty Hansen can go to the bathroom now, and that's a damn shame.
Oh, man. All right. Mackey and Judd, the OG Score North podcast. We'll see you guys later.